am Love Coach Scott Katamas. It's a beautiful sacred Sunday morning. And this is my Sacred Sunday show. And I hope that whenever you're watching this, there she is, whether you're watching live or watching the replay, and the majority of people who are on this show watch the replay, welcome. And here is our special guest of honor, recently celebrated her birthday. This is Davida. Hello, Davida. You're muted. You need to unmute, dear. You need to unmute.
This is a new computer. This is a huge Mac, that I bought in San Cristobal, and so I'm just getting used to it. But great to see you. Great to be here. Great to be back home. It's like my home on Sundays. It's like going to see Uncle Scott on Sundays and have some coffee and catch up.
Yes, good to see you. Well, very much looking forward to what you're going to share with us today about your artistic expression. And it's we've been celebrating women all weekend long. Last night we had an amazing Saturday Night Live with Jean Houston and Kaya Ra and Claire Zamet and Rianne Easler and Viraja, all these amazing women.
Yeah, and Ananda, she's a priestess.
Ananda Ray. It was an embarrassment of riches. So many remarkable women. But here we get to continue the celebration with you, because you were definitely a remarkable woman.
Oh, thank you. I'm a proud woman. It feels good to be a woman, like the song. I just want to be a woman.
That's great. Well, I want to welcome everybody. We do have quite a few people in our Zoom room. Jay Mayer, thank you, Jay.
Yay!
Producer, we love Jay.
We love Jay.
Savannah, welcome, Savannah from Mississippi. Glad to have you with us. We've got Michael and Mar and Irina, Glenn, Jerry, Denora, and many, many others actually all coming in.
Thank you guys for watching, supporting, and loving us.
And for those of you watching on Facebook, what I will do is, and thank you, Joyce, for sharing our video out on Facebook. I appreciate that. And any of you watching on Facebook, if you want to share this out with your friends, we appreciate that. I'm going to start us off with a meditation, just to kind of drop in, give you a chance to have a little more of you're going to enjoy your coffee. And then really, we're going to pretty much primarily be listening to Davida today, because she has a lot to share. So welcome. And let's just start by closing our eyes. And let's take some deep breaths. I invite everyone to breathe at their own pace. But as you breathe, really leaving the distractions, leaving the external world, and just allow my voice to gently guide you as you go deep inside yourself. With every breath, really going deeper into your own inner landscape, connecting to your beautiful body temple. And as you connect to yourself, I invite you to take an inventory of what's going on inside you and your body. How well resourced are you? Have you had enough food, enough water? How did you sleep last night? Did you get enough rest? In general, are you operating at maximum capacity, moderate capacity, minimal capacity? Some of us may be experiencing an ongoing low-grade anxiety or ongoing hypervigilance. Some of us are experiencing the pandemic in this time as a really scary time of feeling contracted and shut down. Others are finding this to be a very expansive time. Some of us are enjoying deep introspection, and some of us are busier than we've ever been. There's no right or wrong to whichever of these conditions or situations you're in. Just acknowledge it. Let's be honest. How are you doing? How's your body temple? What does it long for? What are the emotions that you're either very aware of or maybe just now beginning to notice as we slow down? Again, there's no bad feelings, no negative emotions. There are uncomfortable feelings. There are challenging emotions, but they're all part of who we truly are in presence. And so we're living the world of right and wrong. We're living the world of good and bad. Entering the world of what is. Presence. Presence to what is. And so I invite you as we complete this meditation to just embrace whatever is present for you. Whether it's sadness and loneliness, or joyfulness, whether it's expansion or contraction, what's present in your body, what's your presence in your own personal field of reality and experience right now. And I invite us to open our eyes and come back in. And whatever is present for you, would love to know that. So I invite people in the Zoom room, pop it in the chat box. Let us know what's come up for you. And for those of you on Facebook, while David is sharing, I'll go take a look. So if you see me looking down, I'm not doing anything other than looking to see what people are having to say on Facebook. And I'm going to put the spotlight on my beautiful friend Davida and ask you, Davida, what came up for you just now? What did you notice is present for you?
I have to slow down. I'm always running and doing so much. I just want to be and more. I overfill my cup. So these moments of meditation just really helps to ground and balance and just really feel what's important. And what's really important in just being and celebrating you're here and you have a body and you're breathing, and that should be enough just to make you happy and content and fulfilled. But we always need more, right? So that's one of the lessons I'm trying to master in this lifetime. So to do less and be more.
Yes.
Being
Yes.
human beings, not human doings. So
I suffer from the same thing. I'm totally, most of the time, I'm a human doing. Yeah, I mean, I work 12 to 15 hours a day. And I love my work. For the most part, I love what I do. So I'm grateful for that. But it's true. It's like we're so connected to the external world. And I think to a large degree, that is part of what the pandemic is doing. It certainly has helped to slow things down. Not entirely, but there is a slowing down that's happened for most people because so many of our distractions have been taken away. There's no festivals, no concerts, no movies, in many places, not even restaurants, no sporting events, no workshops in person. It's like a lot of that in certain parts of at least this country, maybe not so much.
well, that's why I'm in Mexico. There is no pandemic here. So in Tulum, nothing stops. It just keeps growing, and what really bothers me and breaks my heart is the destruction of the jungle, Mother Nature, and the manglares. All the people are escaping from US to Tulum. So they're building like crazy. It's booming, you know, so I wanted to share that. So
Yeah, no, I'm curious. So tell me more. Like, so literally when they say there's no pandemic in Mexico, like no one's getting sick?
well, you know, I don't really check the news and I don't care. I live my life, but life here it's healthier. You know, we go to the beach, the amazing breeze, the heat. You know, the high vibration of love. People just feel so relaxed. There is no stress. You know, you go to the streets, people smile back at you.
Hmm.
Thing I couldn't feel anymore in US, and that's one of the reasons I escaped. You know, because you know it's really hard for me seeing sad faces on the streets that they don't smile back at you, you know, and I take it so personal, like a little girl, you know, when you smile and you want to play with someone and they don't play back, you feel hurt. So that's how I was feeling. And yeah, so, you know, we operate in a higher frequency in Tulum. That's how we believe
Right, right,
that
right.
it is.
I mean, what a blessing to be there. And I also appreciate what you're pointing out about whenever there's an expansion of a geographically beautiful area,
Mhm.
price that geographically beautiful area pays for the expansion. And boy, that's the history of humanity to a large degree, isn't it?
I know, but I see it right now with my naked eyes, and it really hurts. You know, like where it used to be beautiful jungle and the wild animals. You know, the jungle here is like the Amazons because it rains a lot and there's so much water underneath, so much life, you know, little creatures everywhere, you know, it's just so much life. But all these people, they want to come here and escaping from their countries, their lockdowns, and you know, so it's a thing that I'm getting to feel more deeper. So I want to do something about that, you know. So I have some ideas to raise awareness in the best way I do. So just going to the streets and just, you know, portraying, embodying Mother Nature. And that's the new idea I have in Tulum. You know, I've done before for Mother Nature. I was daughter nature, you know, like sharing this message from my mother to humanity. You know, that was one of my performance events on Peace at the Park, you know, that Evan Hertz produced like 3 years ago. So I had nature, like real nature, you know, branches, leaves, flowers, you know, all on me, you know, and I was like feeling I was nature and I had something important to say. So I want to bring that idea to Tulum because I think we can raise more awareness if people feel and see it live, you know. Um, yeah, no, nobody wants to think about little lizards and little, you know, it's gonna come down and have fun, you know, they don't care about the turtles, you know, they're just gonna have a good time, right? So somebody has to make them think. So that's my job and that's what I do. And that's what I'm passionate about, you know, because reality, your personal reality is where you focus your attention to, you know. So where you focus your attention is your reality, right? But
Right.
somebody maybe have to come from behind and just kind of move your head to the other side. Hey, look over there. There's something important to see too. So that's my job. And that's what my second book is about. My first book is about, you know, using my body, my creative skills to raise awareness in
You
a
know,
very
one of the people who's with us right now is my friend Jay Mayer. And Jay saw, of course, that you were my guest on today's show.
Hi, Jay. I love
And,
Jay.
and he was
Light
talking about
touch,
how,
light touch, right?
I'm sure Jay's enjoying that right now. He was talking about a famous photograph he has of you where you're, I think in Spain, and he said there's this big military thing going on, and there you are completely naked. And the juxtaposition between the military army and uniforms with weapons, and you literally naked, in some sort of a contrast to that. And you do use your beauty, your body, your body temple as a way to get attention and then focus attention on what's important. And is that part of being the artivist priestess?
Absolutely, it's everything. It's it's each archivist. Well, each priestess have a function, right? As a healer, light worker, as middle woman. Like for me, all conscious, awakened women in their power are priestesses. That's how I refer to. Igual with men, I see you as a priest. Maybe you never thought of it, but I see you as a priest, like a medium between the divine and the earthly world. We're like the mediators, the bridges. And
No, I can relate to that for sure.
yeah, so that's how I decide to embody my priestesshood, being boots on the ground, on the front row of the protest and the march. I was born in March 4th, for example. There you go, March 4th. What are the odds to be born on March 4th?
That's a good one. Now, see, I was born on Christmas Day, so I also have a little bit of an association with who I turned out to be.
The savior complex you have, like
Totally, I did. I grew up with the. I still have to watch my Messiah complex, my rescuer complex. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, it's not an accident you were born on Christmas Day. It's not an accident I was born on March 4th.
Yeah, I love that marching forth. I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, my archetypes, for example, we talked about that last time, but many of our new visitors, they might not know. So
yeah, please tell us again. Tell us, what does it mean? How did you embrace being the artivist priestess? How did you embrace that, and what does that mean?
Yeah, so for me, it's the archetype of the warrior priestess, the warrior woman, the Joan of Arc, that kind of visionary that had a vision, a dream, a message from the divine, and then she left everything behind. She was 16 and she just kind of lived the French Revolution. It's like amazing, right? So that's how I felt many times when I had these ideas. They were being downloaded from somewhere, from the consciousness pool that we all share, the web of ideas and consciousness. So they come to me and they feel really strong in my body, and I feel this urge, this necessity, this fire to let it out, otherwise I just go crazy. It's like, I cannot keep it for myself. I have to share this energy, this thing, so how can I materialize a dream, a vision into the physical world? So that's where my creative skills come to work, and so it's about building things and using things on my body and just kind of using theatrical skills to make people feel on the streets. I love that contrast. When I go to the streets, it's my favorite thing. I haven't done it in so long, but it's that rapture of monotony and quotidianity. Do I say that right? I have a problem with that word. The quotidianity. Can you help me with that?
I'm trying to figure out what word you're trying to say.
The mundane things, the daily things, the monotony of the life that we all do. We're programmed to do things every day the same way.
Right.
Let's go to work, just kind of, we don't walk, we run to work. We're not aware of what's going on around us, in the streets. We're just kind of in our heads too much, right? So I like to kind of disrupt all that, like a bomb, like throwing a bomb, you
Wow.
know,
Right,
creative,
right.
artistic, loving bomb, but it's a bomb, you know.
Wow, wow, wow.
So that's how I see myself, you know. There's no other way for me to really make people pay attention for what I believe than putting myself to the front row. I'm the bomb. Do you mind if I get more coffee really quick?
Not at all. Go for it. There we go. Okay. While she's getting coffee, I better come back on to the screen here then. That's me. Hi, everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and I guess what I'll do is, Jay, not particularly though, I often think that all of us in eternity, and that would include Joan of Arc. Oh, I see, right, got it, okay. I was reading one of the comments, and I want to acknowledge that all of us have this kind of unique desire to really be who we were born to be. And as a coach, I work with a lot of people like that. Now, it's interesting because of my life, because I've been producing television for a very long time. And a lot of the television that I have created has featured remarkable human beings. And that continues on as I do host these shows. Last night on our online show, we had Gene Houston and Andrew Harvey and Rianne Eisler and so many remarkable people. Now, what makes them a remarkable person? I would say that they are living who they were born to be more fully than the people that Davida was referencing. And we've all been there when we're trapped into more of a mundane life. It feels mundane when we are not living our lives in a passionate way. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be a famous author or you have to be a gorgeous woman like she is, or, I mean, you can be leading a very passionate life while operating a store, while sweeping the floors. It's not who we are in terms of glamour. It's how we embrace what we are doing. Right?
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better. And, I want to add to it that never forget who you are as a child. Remember the dreams and the fantasies and the imagination you had as a child. Keep that going. They should never end.
Yeah.
Like when I see the light in all the people I interact with and bump, I connect with, I see their inner child. And that's how I connect to them. Right. So it's a powerful way to break the ice, break the walls, to connect to the inner child, with the eyes and and loving them unconditionally, who cares about their story, or maybe they kill someone, but the unconditional love is unconditional for a reason. So, we are all like hurt, traumatized, children in a way, we're trying to get back to it. Yeah. So with age, we get better, right? We become who we were supposed to be at the first place with age. And now I'm 41 and I've been lying about my age my whole life. I had these modeling pages. I was always 28, even 10 years later, I was 28 on that page. Because, I didn't want anybody to see me less than what I was because I feel so young. But people have this idea about age that, but I'm embracing my maturity so wonderfully. Like I've never experienced that before. Now that I'm 40, in the 40s, like when life begins again for me, So yeah, never forget your inner child.
You know, I want to,
Playful, get surprised about things, and always laugh. You know, you have to laugh at everything. So
absolutely. You know, I want to riff on a couple of things she just said. First of all, seeing the inner child is a beautiful thing. It's like there's being the inner child, embracing our own inner child, but it's also seeing the inner child in others. And as a relationship coach, when someone is really bothering us, when we're mad at someone, and especially if we're judging someone, can you see the inner child inside that person? Can you
yeah,
see, can you go from judging him because, oh God, he's so loud and obnoxious, to seeing, oh, he so wants to be seen. He so wants to be heard. He so wants to be understood, right? And if you can see that the inner 5-year-old, even when somebody's behaving in a way you don't like, what's that little 5-year-old trying to accomplish? What's that little 5-year-old inside that person desperately trying to get as they yell, as they scream, as they cry, as they bully, whatever it is they're doing?
beautiful.
And it helps us to understand.
So for me, activism is like playing. Why not? You know, I go and play, and I want to play with others, and I want them to be part of it, you know. So I invite them in, and I'm just dying to talk about my second book. So
Okay,
because
go for it.
you know,
Okay,
like we always
gonna,
get sidetrack, and then we don't have enough time to talk about the book.
Davida, if you were to die on my show, it would get good ratings, but I don't want that to happen. So please tell us about your new book.
Okay, so I'm sorry I don't have my second book with me right now because I got them printed in San Cristobal de las Casas finally after 1 year of all these challenges and hardships and the pandemic and my editor dropping out of the project and learning myself how to make a book on InDesign. You know, it's been a really long, painful year. I thought many times I have to give up. I'm giving all my life, my time to making this book.
Wow.
And, and I had an assistant, my really good friend, Powell Clutch. If you watch from Arizona, I love you so much. I couldn't have done it without you. So because of him, I was able to get it done. And then I found a publisher, a printer company in San Cristobal de las Casas, in Chiapas. And they understood the importance of this book, and keeping the message and keeping the quality, a museum quality that will last for years. Even after I'm gone, this book is going to be here.
Wow.
I hope so, if nobody burns it, But right now in this culture, the cancel culture, publishing a book is such a triumph, especially a book that I couldn't print in China because the content, it was really controversial, some of the content, not for me, but for them. So I couldn't print it on China because of that. And I feel proud. It's all no by China. So I found this publisher in Chiapas, So it's a really cool story how I got to print that book in Chiapas.
Wow.
And most of the images inside the book have been banned, censored, especially on Facebook, because, I'm very outspoken, I'm very authentic, I have big opinions. I'm a highly opinionated woman, and I'm not holding back. So some people see me as a threat, but I see it as a freedom of expression and freedom of speech, which is such in danger right now, our freedom of speech, So this book is it's a triumph, un triunfo total de la vida. And even though I don't have it with me right now to show it, I have some images I want to share, and like a few images I want to explain what's the meaning.
By the way, what's
Yes.
very interesting is while you've been speaking, I just got kicked off of Facebook.
You did?
Yep. Literally, I got a notice that there's something that, here, I'll show you what comes up. I did.
That has nothing to do with me, I hope.
Well,
You haven't done anything.
because I literally got a message that asking me to prove that I was me. I had to take a picture of myself, and my account on Facebook is currently disabled. And so
that doesn't make any sense.
It's kind of interesting, isn't it? I mean, that's literally, I go to Facebook right now.
We're just talking about that. That's crazy.
And this is what comes up. And here, I'll try opening up another browser on Facebook. Yep. Wherever
we received your information. What information did you send to them?
It sent me a message saying, please prove that you're you by sending a video of yourself. So I made a video of myself while you were talking, sent it, and then got this message back.
Wow.
So you're, I guess, quite famous within the Facebook security standards.
Well, I hope it has nothing to do with me, because I cannot take that anymore. I cannot take this thing, because I've been such a good girl since my last warning, and I haven't had any warning. I'm only sharing about my life, my love, my insights. I'm leaving aside politics. It's out of my control, out of my reach. And since I left US, I don't want anything to do with their politics. So I've been such a good girl. So I'm really shocked.
Yeah, I'm kind of like shocked too. So I guess that I'm not sure. Now, Augie, one of our readers is saying, if you post something others don't like, someone might report you as a fake account. So if you're not using your real name, then you may have had to use that to gain access to your account again. That's part of Facebook regulations. I mean, on my end, and we're going through me and my account, I'm Scott Katamas. I'm the only Scott Katamas on the planet. So it is strange. I've never been kicked off Facebook before.
Well, many people have been kicked out, and it's quite.
Oh, you know what's interesting? Somebody texted me and said, because you're using the word bomb, that might be that the Facebook bots, the Facebook Autobots heard the word bomb, and that.
But that didn't happen to me. And we're not on Facebook now. This is Zoom. That doesn't make any sense.
But no, we originated on Zoom, but we're broadcasting on Facebook, right? In other words, when I click the magic button, which I did at 10 o'clock, we went on Facebook. So for Jan Kaplan, since you're watching, are you still able to see us on Facebook, or did the Facebook feed completely stop? I'd be curious about that. Or Davida, if you're still able to access Facebook.
Yeah, I'm able to access Facebook.
Is the feed still happening? Is this?
Yeah, it is happening. Huh. I'm watching myself on live.
Okay, well, at least we're still live on Facebook, so I'm glad to hear that, even though I can't access my own account. Oh, but that's because we're going through Love Coach Academy. Right, so it's Love Coach Academy that's carrying this feed. It's Scott Katamas, I guess, that got kicked off. I don't know. It's an interesting little anomaly happening right now.
Well, I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what to say, but hopefully it has nothing to do with me.
Well, whatever it is, I mean, don't take it personally,
Well, but I've been looking forward so much for this, and I've been such a good girl to keep you proud and happy, and now this, but you have to laugh at it.
It's like you were saying earlier, we have to laugh at these things, right?
Yeah, because what else can you do? It's just crazy, but it's okay. We're here, we're talking, we're sharing, and so I'm going to share some.
Okay, good. All right, good. And thank you. And Sephora is with us. So Sephora will bring you on in a few minutes. Okay, tell us about your new book.
Okay, so this image, hold on, I have
And I got the spotlight on you so we can see a little bit.
Yeah, I have the warm light to protect my eyes, so I think it's gonna be better if I remove it. Okay, so more aquí, mira. Uy, too much now, too much brightness. Okay, so this, for example, is a really powerful image that that session was at Skid Row, that was pre my week-long social experiment as a homeless woman on downtown LA, and me and my team, we went down, Skid Row, downtown LA, to check the area just to get the feeling, right? And I was dressed as the priestess, but more like Mary Magdalene, all white, virginal. And there was this homeless person. Well, there was two here on the photo, no, but the one I picked up. So I actually offered him some money. So I hired him, and I shared my idea with him. He loved it. He had nothing else to do, and he got some money and a nice meal and hot coffee. So he had a great day. I'm not using anyone as props. I hire them. I give them dignity. I don't use people. I hire them. I bring them back their value. So, and you have to explain what you're going to do, and you have to be in agreement, right? So you don't force anyone. So this person allowed me to pick him up like he was homeless Jesus, and I was Mary Magdalene saving him. So for me, Mary Magdalene is the savior of Jesus. And for me, I choose to believe that Jesus became enlightened through Mary Magdalene, through sacred sexuality, sacred tantra, and the mysticism. And, Mary Magdalene was the priestess of Isis. So everything she knew it from Isis, from the long lineage of Isis priestesshood. So in this image, for example, you see another homeless person, and then you have a pharmacy in the back. Most of these homeless people ended up there because legal drugs, narcotics, Oxycontin and all that stuff. So they're not there. People say, oh, because drugs, they do drugs. So that's why they're there. But these are legal drugs. They're not illegal, which is the funny thing. Well, funny no, but crazy thing. And then these men just walking by, totally unaware, like the kind of people I told you before that they don't even look what's going on around them.
Yeah, when I looked at this image, that's what stood out to me. It's like, here's this fascinating, pieta happening with, you as Mary Magdalene holding and this guy is just charging right by, in his own world. And that is a very fascinating juxtaposition between his reality and the reality on the left side of the screen versus the reality on the right side of the screen.
Yeah, and that's a Walgreens pharmacy, but that's a pharmacy that was before, in 1800s. Right. So that's, when I create these images, it's a message. It's not just me standing there looking whatever, I just kind of, the whole scene, the whole, it's everything is thought, and sometimes it's very synchronized, synergetic. So things happen in a really interesting way when I do this. Let's go to the next one. Okay, hold on. Okay, this one, for example, the real pandemic in Mexico and pretty much all over the world, now that it's the International Women's Weekend, so this is one of my most notorious pieces. This is the femicides in Mexico. Wow. For this piece, I went a few days before my birthday 3 years ago to Mexico City. And I contacted another Mexican activist. So I wanted to do something with another woman from Mexico. She agreed to do that. And we portrayed the rawness and the cruelty of this pandemic. You know, the
And so
femicide.
people know, if you're not able to see it, they had both of their mouths taped with the word
Yeah,
silence.
silence, with the word silence. And we were in front of the Palacio de Bellas Artes. They came, journalists from all over the world, they took photos, CNN. Those images, they were selling for $700. And, you know, in Indonesia, Malaysia, all over the world, they were crazy about those images. But, you know, I never got any money because I don't do what I do for money. I just sell my books. So I'm able to, you know, kind of carry on and do what I do. But that's not my motivation at all. But then the photographers, they don't share the profits, but they share the photos. So, you know, and then I send them a book, you know, so we're in agreement. This is at the end of that performance. All the women around join us, you know, and that was, I'm getting goosebumps because, you know, when those moments are so real that I guess I get goosebumps.
Yeah.
All the women joined us and they started singing. So we were not alone. That was a really powerful
And these
moment.
are people that spontaneously joined you. You
As
had
spontaneously, yes. And I didn't plan that, and it just happened, and it was beautiful. So, you know, it's a co-creation. It's not just me, you know,
yes. Yeah.
I'm not taking all the credit. I'm going to show you, do you know about 43 Mexican students that they were disappeared in Ayotzinapa in 2016?
Hmm.
So 43 Mexican students, they were on a bus to protest the government, you know, because for whatever reasons. And those 43 Mexican students disappeared overnight. Nobody heard about them anymore. They couldn't find the bodies, you know, for many years. Still now, the parents are looking for the children.
And they're from the bus.
Yeah. And, you know, they think the narcos, the drug cartels and the government, they were in, they team up to make them disappear, you know, because nobody can criticize the government. So then, you know, La Llorona, it's this Mexican myth, urban legend. La Llorona is a mother looking for her children.
Wow.
She cries, and she's like a ghost. And, you know, and they personify her like a monster, like a ghost, or like a terrible, you know, they make horror movies with her, La Llorona, you know, but she's a mother looking for her children.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
so then I thought, okay, I'm gonna dress the 43 mothers of the 43 students as Las Lloronas. So you see the 43 mothers, the real mothers, and some actresses and some volunteers, you know, dressed up as La Llorona, which is this ghostly figure looking for her children in the city in Mexico. They're all wearing a piece of the Mexican flag. That was a huge flag. It was given to me with the warning that it was illegal to cut or burn the flag, the Mexican flag, but I did it anyway. And that was huge. And I did it in front of all the cameras all over the world. Because for me, a flag is just a piece of cloth. It's nothing. But the lives of these children, you know,
that's something that's meaningful, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if someone comes to me and say, hey, why you burned the flag and why you cut the flag, and I say, what? It's a piece of cloth, I can wipe my ass. You know, these mothers and fathers, they lost their children. So, you know, if you paid attention because the cloth, I gained, you know. So here there was a poem on a Zócalo. Gabriel García Márquez said, en algún lugar, en alguna parte, te voy a encontrar. in some place, sometime, I will find you. And then I sent a camera all the way up to the rooftop of a restaurant to take a photo of this. Because in that moment, I wasn't thinking about the mural. It just happened. You know, so everything's very synchronized. I'm working with the universe. That's how I like to think, with my angels, my ascended masters. We're all teaming up to do this. That's why I never got in trouble. I never got arrested, never had any issue with anything because I am protected.
That's
I see somebody there who wants to talk.
Yes, that's Sephora, who we're going to bring on in a moment. Now, tell me, how do people get your book? How do they order it, or how do we get more of you and your book?
Yeah, we're running out of time again, right?
No, we're fine on time.
More time.
So
yeah, so one moment, this is for the Dakota Access Pipeline back in the day,
right, the pipeline, right. Oil is death.
So I couldn't go to what was the camp in North Dakota? Standing Rock. I couldn't go there, right? So I did this in San Francisco, and the Angel of Death with the blood, the oil. And then we went to Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is funding the pipeline, but not anymore. So I'm glad to hear.
Thank you for your contribution to that. We've had actually Indigenous elders on our Saturday Night Live show who Standing Rock.
See, this is the Angel of Death.
Wow.
The oil Angel of Death.
And is that you as the Angel of Death? Is that you?
Yeah. And the black face, it just happened that way. It's not even Photoshop or anything. I just had like paint on my face, but it looked like I have no face.
Wow.
So it's on Wells Fargo.
That's an incredible picture.
I was banking with Wells Fargo, so I had to, pay off my debt and remove all my funds and go somewhere else because I didn't want to be part of that. And that's how we can make an impact. Stop buying their products. That's where they hurt the most. Amazon, stop buying on Amazon, go down the street to the little corner store and shop and just buy from them. We're creating these monsters.
Absolutely.
Because we're ignorant, we're unconscious, lazy. So we're creating these monsters and then we complain and then it's too late,
So we're going to go longer than an hour today.
Thank you.
I definitely wanted to bring on, in the spirit of spontaneity, this is my dear friend Sephora. And I just discovered that Sephora also launched a book today. And so I thought, well, if you want to come on, tell us about this. So Sephora, I want you to meet Davida. Davida, this is Sephora. Your names kind of sound Davida, Sephora, Davida.
Well, thank you for supporting us, Sephora.
Yes.
You're a wonderful supporter.
Sephora, welcome. And how wonderful on this time that we're celebrating women to have you with us. Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for the spontaneity.
Absolutely. I love being spontaneous. Tell us a little bit about your book and what you're doing.
I go and get my coffee. Sorry.
So the book launch has been throughout the whole weekend, and it's probably one of the most vulnerable and touchy subjects I've ever written on. The book itself is called Soul of Abortion, a compassionate guide to emotion discovery, healing, and peace. And there's 3 intentions within this book. And one is to break the silence that many women feel in the world who do choose to have an abortion, and to have a blueprint, so to speak, that they can hold on to as simple practices and tools to take them through not disassociating, but coming back to their body and their wholeness and understanding the emotions, physically, psychologically, energetically, and everything that changes in their state when they do go through an abortion. The second intent of the book is for couples who walk together on this journey of possibly unplanned pregnancy and don't know how to stay connected through the process of deciding, and how to both and all genders, everyone involved, have a say and a choice, and how can it bring them closer together. And And the third intention, which I'm actually most passionate about, is community and social systems, is how can we create new structures and implement new platforms that people know how to talk about it, where women who go through an abortion, I do believe it's a rite of passage, in the sense that not as in woohoo, it's a big celebration, but that there is an epic, like, complex change in the woman's, body. Her whole being will never be the same after having an abortion, and people don't know how to receive this back into the world. And so how can we create platforms that people know how to have the conversation, know how to hold space for the grieving cycles of the women. And the book itself was actually inspired and downloaded through my pregnancy. I became pregnant, and when I found out I was pregnant, I was 2 months pregnant, and I chose to have an abortion. But there was a 2-week period between finding out I was pregnant, because my body was not handling the pregnancy well, to the procedure itself. And I'm blessed that I was privileged that I had a partner at the time who sat with me and says, let's be pregnant for 2 weeks. So rather than disassociating, I had the space that I just went so far inward to connect with the being, with what was happening to my body. And so much information came through me, and I just felt like there was a contract written that I had to write this book. Like, it was just what came through me.
Sapara, that's such an incredibly important topic. And there's, of course, so much polarization around abortion. And you're right, most of the time it's kind of, you're either adamantly for it or adamantly against it. And of course, what we always have to learn how to do is to be able to talk with each other about it. And then I also want to acknowledge that it's true, I've coached so many women that have shame about getting abortions. They had to hide it. They don't want to talk about it. They didn't want to deal with it. They feel guilt. They feel shame. And so for you to write a book that opens up a conversation about this topic, even the moment you hear the word abortion, it's a very loaded word. It's a trigger word. So to open up a conversation about that is really valuable. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's my wish. I don't believe it's a pro-choice or a pro-life book. I believe it's a pro-voice book. And how can we stay true to our values, but still be willing to be like, oh yeah, I'm angry because, I feel so much anger that you had an abortion, but still be open to be in a healing space, in a conversation with people who do choose it, rather than shaming and condemning.
May I say something about abortion? I did something in 2013 when Spain wanted to illegalize abortion after, I don't know, like 27 years or something since Franco died, So that was like 16 male ministers, Spanish ministers, decide for the rest of women in Spain. How come we allow these men to decide for our bodies and our lives and our futures? It's unbelievable. So I did a protest, an activist. I went to the big avenue, Gran Via, with a sign that said, please help me. I need to go to London to get an abortion. Because I couldn't afford an abortion anywhere else, and it was illegal in Spain, and I could have gone to prison because of that. So that was on the cover of Le Monde in France. That was a huge thing. Like a European woman in Spain asking for help to get an abortion to go to London. That's how it felt. So just wanted to share that.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for coming to share with all of us.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel it's time to take it out of the politics. I don't believe it's political. I believe it's so important for humanity to bring topics like this back to our heart, into connection.
And for example, we bring so many unloved, unwanted children into the world, but then later on they get into gangs, they become serial killers. you know, because they never got the love they deserve growing up. So that really traumatizes you, you know, 7 years of your first life. It's what really marks the rest of your life. So, I don't know, it's a very personal subject that, you know, we all have to decide for our own bodies and futures and lives, nobody else but us. And we have to have the right conditions and the right information and the right help and support to make the right decision, you know?
Yes. Yes, all of the above. And it is like we need to understand and have the right support. And I think people who don't have an abortion, obviously they'll never understand what a woman goes through. And I remember one of my personal experiences, what was after I had the abortion, I felt like a mother. And in that moment, I was just like, how do I say that to the world and to people? And then I did research. And there is such a fact as the mother gene that when you're pregnant, whether you go through full term or abort or miscarriage, is part of the DNA of the child. The baby stays in you. And so that to have physiologically that sense that you're a mother is a true thing. And so my question, I got curious. I'm like, how many women have that feeling? But what happens, they go so deep into a grief cycle because they feel that, but they just don't understand it. And there's no place to turn to. You know, I wanted to be held and celebrated as a woman, as a mother, even though I didn't go full term, because that was what my physiology was saying. So I think there's just so many fascinating and again, complexity to it that I don't think we can ever understand the whole depth of what happens. And so just holding this space together is so essential.
That's why it's really important to have sisters, like blood or soul sisters, you know, divine sisterhood. It's the best medicine for me in the world right now, you know, because I have the support, the love, and you know, the teachings of my sisters all over the world. And I consider you as a sister too. So, you know, we have to team up and be there for each other. And I really encourage to all the viewers, you know, to team up, and divine priestesshood too. You guys have to team up too and talk about your issues. And, you know, instead of just watching the Super Bowl and drinking beer and eating pizza and Barbie and farting, maybe you can talk about more deeper things that can bring more peace and balance and love into the world. Which
is why we have shows like this, and why
Thank you.
Sarah writes a book like the book she wrote, and you write the book that you wrote, you know, and I, you know, consciousness is rising. And I, you know, I really respect both of you very much because you're both sacred activists. I've had the good fortune to work with Andrew Harvey a lot lately. He's been on several of my shows, and he coined the term sacred activism. And that's really what both of your books are to me. You know, it is sacred activism to establish communication about abortion. I didn't know that until just now, what you said about the woman carrying, I knew that a woman's body obviously had hormonal changes, but what you just said about always carrying the DNA of the baby, even though it didn't come to full term, I did not know that. And that's a fascinating thing and an important thing for men to know, as well as obviously for women to know. And of course, the incredible sacred activism that you do, Davida, by really demonstrating so powerfully, hey, this is what is going on in our world. So I just really want to honor both of you as sacred activists.
Yeah, Supporter, you said. I consider you an archivist too, and I bet you never knew about that term. I mean, you're a writer, so artivists can choose any of the arts, you know, to express and to raise awareness and cause an impact. So you do it with your writing, I do it with my body. So, you know, you're an artist too. Welcome to the club. How is it feels?
So, question for both of you, because obviously both of you do creative expression very connected to your own personal life, your beliefs, your exploration. where are you each in your journey of life right now? In your journey of life, what is your journey of discovery? Literally today, this week, what's your current journey of discovery? And I'm going to put put it on speaker view so whoever's speaking will put the full focus on you.
So yeah, I'm getting to understand that it's what I said before, it's about being and doing less and be more present and more loving and just slowing down, right? A little bit. So up until now, until my 40s, I was always rushing, like on a sprint all the time. So now I'm kind of coming down and truly harvesting the fruits of my hard work. And right now, for example, all I can think of is unconditional love, unconditional love, unconditional love. So that's all I can think of. And, just having unconditional love for everyone, and everything. And, it's the biggest lesson, and for myself. And, so that's what I'm going through now.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
How about you, Sephora? Where are you in your life journey?
Well, the most instant thing that came to me was being 50. I turned 50 a week ago, and a woman who's experiencing perimenopause and entering the change of life, and what that looks like in relationship to how I move my body, how I am in my work, how my energy levels are. Like, it literally takes over my whole life. So it's almost like building this, definitely is building this new relationship with me and going through the trials of that. And because it is challenging, and it's almost learning a new system that's coming into place in my system.
Beautiful. Interesting. Davida just turned 41. You just turned 50. And I'm 65. So we've got 3 different 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Yeah. So are you a Pisces baby too?
I'm on the cusp of Pisces and Aquarius.
Oh, okay. That's why we get so along, you and I. I can feel your energy, my Piscean energy. Can I address a question from my friend Irina? She's an Armenian and she's asking me something. Can I address that? Because she complained last time she asked something and we didn't pay attention to her. So I don't want to go.
Yeah, go ahead.
So she says, Davida, did you include your activism about the wall in your book? So yeah, I did. I built a wall on Hollywood Walk of Fame for a special edition of Hustler magazine, for the 45th anniversary of Hustler magazine. So that's, and Mr. Larry Flynn just passed away 2 weeks ago, like recent. So this activism was maybe 2 years ago. They offered me to do something, and I said, I want to build a wall. And you know what he said? Okay, you can build a wall, but you have to pay for it. He's so stingy. That's why he had so much money, I didn't say that to him, but I was going to. Okay, so they didn't give me any money. Did you know where I got the money from to build the wall? From my Mexican friends. Wow. Mostly from my Mexican friends to build the wall. Because there was the time it was this controversy about the Trump's wall and stuff like that, So I said, I have to do something. I want to build a wall and block everybody from walking on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. To make them feel how it feels for the animals, that they cannot go across, they cannot go across to Arizona. I used to live like 20 miles from the border in the south of Arizona, and they blocked the jaguar from crossing. We only had 2 jaguars in US, and one of them, it was in my backyard. So he couldn't cross because the wall. So that really touched really my deepest being. That was one of the most successful. So that was so yeah, it's in my next book. It's like 4 pages explaining how I built a wall, how I did it in a week, and how successful it turned to be. Thank you, Irina. It was one of the best activism. Thank you, Irina.
You know, it is sad to me that there is such a racial divide going on in this country right now. And I've done a few shows on bridging the divide. In fact, my friend Katrina Valancourt's visiting me right now, and she has a weekly show called Across the Aisle, which is helping people to understand each other. And there really is a tremendous division right now going on. And as a white man, as an older white man, I can sadly acknowledge that there's a very strong desire to maintain white supremacy in this country. And I think there's a tremendous battle for the soul of America going on between those who want to maintain white privilege and white supremacy and those who are really done with that paradigm and are wanting to really truly acknowledge that Black Lives Matter, that there is still just insane amount of social and racial injustice. And so the battle for racial injustice and social justice is very, very important right now. So, thank you for your steps in pointing that out. And I pray for our country. I pray that those who are afraid of losing some sense of power can open their hearts, and that we can peacefully as possible, truly reach the next level of integration and social justice in this country.
I see it above race, beyond race. It's more like the battle against the old world and the new world. We're like, the old world is afraid of losing their power, their privilege, all that stuff, they're holding tight into it, these white men in the Congress, they look constipated, they're holding their farts, they don't want to let it go, and they're like so sad and pale that they have no glow, no light in their eyes, they're losing their soul on the way. And then the new world, the age of Aquarius, all these the new generations are coming, the indigo, the rainbow, the crystal children, all they're coming to Earth to save us. So what do? We're just gonna inject them vaccines, to diminish their frequency and to tame them because they're coming too strong to save the planet. So what do? We create these pandemics from nowhere, and then these vaccines, up to 3 vaccines, then we put them masks to the little children, 8 hours a day. We're torturing them, because we want to diminish their power so we can keep our power, the white supremacy power, So I see it as a spiritual battle right now going on. It's really strong, so we have to keep rising above all that and keeping our frequency really elevated, because the virus operates in a really low vibration, which is fear, confusion, whatever, and when you operate this high in the frequency of love, you're untouchable. So that's how I decided to live my life. Can you put me on the spotlight? I've been left out of the spotlight.
All 3 of us are on gallery view. So it's all 3 of us are being seen right now.
Okay, cool.
All 3 of us are being seen. Don't worry.
Remember, I'm the star. So.
Yes, there was a spontaneous choice. So I will put the spotlight fully on each of you for a moment. Tell us how do we get your book? How do people get more connection and contact?
So what I do, I used to sell my book on Amazon. I'm not going to do it anymore. I don't want to work with Amazon. I don't want to give them commission or anything from my work, my hard work. And selling on Amazon my first book, then other publishers from China, they came up with half of the price of my book. I don't know how they did that. They said they got copies from a bookstore. I don't know, but I think the Chinese, they were reproducing my books and selling them half price on Amazon. So I called Amazon and I said, how is this possible? And they said, this is a free market. That's what they said to me. So I said, I'm not going to work with you anymore. I'm doing it my own way. Do it through Instagram, Facebook. You can send Venmo. I don't like PayPal. So just Venmo, Cash App, you know, or check. Or maybe PayPal, but then, you know, the checkout
So what's
fee.
the best way for people to actually contact you?
The best way is to go straight to my social media, Facebook, Instagram, and just say, hey, I want your book. How do we do it? And I say, well, just send me a Venmo. It's a $50 Venmo plus shipping, and I'll ship it to you from Mexico. People trust me. People know I'm an international figure. I won't rip you off or anything like that. So people trust me. And I have people in US that they can ship books to. So I do it my own way.
And give us your name again on Facebook. To find you on Facebook, they go to Davida Sal.
Well, you know, I want to respect my mom's last name. So I'm going to just use Salaber. Davida Salaber is on Facebook.
Okay.
Davida Salaber.
DAVIDA SALABERT. I would normally bring that up, but my Facebook account is disabled for the
Ooh,
first time.
oh my God, that's crazy.
So
And then you can go to Instagram, Priestess Davida, that's one of the accounts, or Davida Sal, that's the other account.
Okay.
You'll find me. If you really want to get my book, you will find me. You will know. And don't tell me you're going to buy my book and then you don't, because that really pisses me off. It's better for you to say anything that say so just to sound nice. Hey, I want your book. And then they never, you know, they never send a Venmo. So
I can understand that challenge. All right. Thank you. And Sephora, I'm popping the spotlight on you.
Awesome.
How do people get in touch with you and get your book?
Awesome. So I'll share a couple links. So going through today, the deal special ends today. There's a special book lunch that you get 3 additional bonuses, an audio recording of a breath therapy practice, entry into my 3-week book club compassion circle, as well as a copy of my other book, Revolutionizing Intimacy. And I'm going to put the link in Zoom, and I put the link in our Facebook thread. So that's for today. And then if they want to find me in the future to stay in touch or to stay on top of the other programs or my weekly live trainings, I'm just going to copy a link and they can come over to our community at Intimacy Hub. And I just put those on Zoom and Facebook.
Beautiful. Actually, I can share screen because it's on a Facebook page. Here is your page. And so it's her name, SephoraIntimacy.com. And then that's where you can find The Soul of Abortion, a compassionate guide to emotion, discovery, healing, and peace. What a very incredibly important topic. Thank you so much, Sephora.
Thank you for having me with you both.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you.
before we go, I want to share one more thing before we go, please.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, even I don't have my book physical, I have it here in the PDF. And I just want to show you there is a chapter because it says.
Do you want to share screen? Davida, you can share screen, which would look better. So do you have the ability to the computer you're on right now? Can you share the screen that will take us to what you want to show us?
Well, I have the new computer. That's the one I'm using, the Zoom. And then I have the little laptop. So I think it's going to make it easier like this. Hold on. Hold on. It's just this. Well, so these are the pages. Just want to go to the one I really. So I added the full chapter of my twin flame relationship, which really transformed me, you know, and I'm really obsessed about that theme. So I really, I shared a chapter, which I cannot see right now, which doesn't matter. For me, it was really important to find my twin flame in this lifetime. That really kind of speed up the enlightenment process. And that's how I became who I am today. So there is a whole chapter, which I really revealed all my deepest secrets. You know, because even though I share so much, there are a few things I don't share as much. So if you really want to know all my secrets, there's Priestess Secrets, you have to buy my book. And it's in the last chapter, on the unconditional love chapter, where I really revealed who I really am, where I'm coming from, and where I'm going to. So
All right.
that's the catch.
Well, that's a beautiful hook. And I want to thank both of you for being on with me this Sacred Sunday. And a reminder to all of us that we can make any day, any moment sacred just by seeing divinity, seeing the divine in each other, seeing the divine in ourselves, seeing the divine in those things that you have judgment around. That's how we make the world a more, that's how we truly practice love. That's how we truly change the world. It's easy to talk about love, but can we learn how to really notice when we're in judgment? Oh, there I go again. I'm judging this, I'm judging that. And to see the divinity in all. So thank you, beautiful ladies, dear
Thank you
friends.
so much for
Thank
having
you
me.
everybody for watching, and God's blessings. Let's have a beautiful day.
Blessings.